In today's brief video, I want to share with you guys a recent experience that I had just the other day that involved a very intense substance use craving, and I want to share with you guys how I managed that and how I got through it. Now, today's video is going to apply whether it's you're craving nicotine, weed, alcohol, pills. It doesn't really matter the substance. Now, if you wind up enjoying today's video, be sure to check out the video description or the pinned comment where you can learn more about our paid and free Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching Program resources. In order to fully understand the magnitude of this craving, I have to paint the background for you guys on exactly what was going on, okay? So this past weekend, it was my grandmother-in-law's 83rd birthday. So I was going out to a dinner with my wife and my in-laws. And I love my in-laws dearly, very, very much. And they are, I should say, a very hyper Italian family. If I have any Italians watching this video, or maybe Armenians or Greeks, you're gonna know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. They're all pretty similar personalities. So they booked a dinner outside at a really high-end restaurant about an hour or so away from where we live. Now, me and my wife drove separately from my in-laws because we recently had a child and we had to take a little extra time setting our child up with the babysitter. Now, I should mention, this is me after coming off of an insane work week, right? This is a Friday evening. This is the first time we're leaving our newborn baby at home with a babysitter. And this is the first time me and my wife are going out in probably the last 2.5 months and getting some alone time in this car ride to dinner, okay? So here we are, we're driving to dinner, and immediately I'm getting a lot of feelings of nostalgia. The place that we were going to was a place that I would commonly go to in the past. I've been there on dates, I've been there for fun events, I've been there to go to the lake. It's kind of near a big body of water. And this was a common place where I would normally consume alcohol, smoke weed, right? This was the type of drive where I would really be hitting my vape the whole way or chewing tobacco, whatever it was. So already driving on this scenic drive to the restaurant, there's already some weird feelings of nostalgia coming up, okay? No big deal though. We get to the restaurant and immediately upon getting there, there's already a mix-up with the reservation and the seating that we requested. And I can instantaneously feel the tension starting to rise among my Italian in-laws, okay? Now mind you, it's a gorgeous night. There's beautiful people everywhere at this restaurant, and there are cocktails going around right and left. Now, my in-laws, my wife, myself currently, 1.5 years now, don't drink any alcohol, okay? I never was addicted to alcohol, but I used to enjoy having a drink on the weekends, but I decided 1.5 years ago to stop doing that. All right, now, continue, fast forward. So we're eating dinner, and I start to get a really strong craving for alcohol. Now, mind you, I wasn't dependent on alcohol. I never had a major issue with it. I certainly wasn't addicted to it. But I made the decision before the birth of my child that I wanted to stop drinking alcohol. I made that decision maybe about, like I said, 1 year to 1.5 years ago. It was right after my honeymoon with my wife. So maybe actually a lot longer now. I don't know how long it's been. And here I was for the first time in a long time, really craving a drink. I'm seeing Aperol spritzes go by. I'm seeing, handsome guys and attractive girls drinking alcohol. And all the while this is happening, that I'm thinking about what drink can I have? What should I do? I'm kind of looking at the cocktail menu now. And, my wife is like, oh, are you going to have a drink? You haven't had one in a while. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so. And I'm telling myself in my head, I'm not. This is over the course of about 1 hour to 1.5 hours. And our appetizers that we had ordered still had yet to arrive. I think we were going on about 1.5 hours. And I could see my father-in-law on the verge of having an aneurysm. My appetizer came. My wife's appetizer came. My mother-in-law's appetizer came, and my father-in-law's did not. And this just, for whatever reason, short-circuited something. And he explodes. He goes up to the host. hostess. We're seated outside, there's a bunch of people around, and for whatever reason, a gasket just explodes, and now the whole family is just very, very hyper at this point. So now we have the whole attention of the whole restaurant. Okay? Not necessarily how I would handle things, but, you know, this is just how it goes down. Okay, so here I am, going through a really intense alcohol craving. Now I find myself in this dinner, which has become increasingly awkward and uncomfortable. And the tension is something that could be cut with a dull butter knife. You wouldn't even need a sharp knife to cut the tension, okay? So this is like the perfect storm, and we're outside and there's people drinking everywhere to get a craving. And where am I going with all this is this. I had an intense craving for alcohol, and I didn't have a chance to take a cold shower. I didn't have a chance to get up and go for a run. I didn't sit there and go through a meditation or, you know, even some of my simpler techniques like canceling the addicted voice. It simply came down to the fact that I had a craving and the response of my brain saying, so what? Frank, yes, you want to take a drink of alcohol right now, and yes, it probably wouldn't be a big deal. So what? You committed to not doing it. And this is more the mentality of just because you want to do something doesn't mean that you have to do it. Just because I had several valid reasons that could justify having a cocktail with presumably minimal consequences, despite having committed to not drinking, something that I adamantly want to continue to see through. I had all these reasons to do it, but it came down to me saying to myself, Frank, so what? You have a good reason to drink. Yes, it's this. Yes, you're stressed. Yes, it could be fun. Yes, it's been a while. Yes, the kid's at home with a babysitter. So what? You made a commitment. Are you not going to see that commitment through? Didn't you decide that you don't want your child to see you drinking alcohol as you grow up over the years? Isn't that a decision that you made? Isn't that a decision that your wife made with you to not consume alcohol? So what if you feel the way that you feel? Just because something may be fun, just because something may temporarily have that benefit, just because in the moment you want to do something, doesn't mean that you have to act on that thing. And I believe firmly for many people struggling with addiction, you have to start to ask the question, so what? Just because I feel this way about it doesn't mean I'm going to act on it. And guys, by the end of the dinner, by the time I got home, it wasn't even a thought anymore, right? We had moved on to having some cake for my grandmother. I was in bed. I woke up the next day, back at work Saturday morning like it never happened. But it came down to the simplicity of saying, so what? Yeah, you do have valid reasons. But does that mean you're going to justify your actions with those reasons? Does that mean you're going to just, you know, say, screw the last 2-3 years, screw the fact that you didn't want your son to see you drinking alcohol, screw X, Y, and Z goals that you had set for yourself? And this comes down to a few things. There's some people who adamantly want to quit smoking weed, who adamantly want to quit drinking alcohol, and they say, yeah, but Dr. Frank, there's things that I really do enjoy about it. I know that there's no benefits and I know that it's ruined my life, but still there's something that I enjoy. And my thing is, okay, great. You have a valid reason to smoke. You have a valid reason to drink. But so what? Does that mean you're going to discredit all the reasons why you don't want to? Does that mean you're going to discredit all the reasons why you're trying to stop? And I think just asking the question of so what is an incredibly powerful technique. We all have excuses, right? And that's what these things are. And many of them are valid. Many of them may be justifiable. But does that really mean you want to throw away all the efforts that you put into this? Does that really mean that you want to mend your goals that you've set for yourself in this journey of whatever, quitting smoking weed, sobriety, taking a tolerance break? So what? Life's going to go on. And this is my advice for you in today's video, and that's my story about a craving. It didn't have to do with weed. For the record, I actually haven't craved weed in a very, very long time. But alcohol, funny, wasn't nearly as, addicted or anything like that. But, you know, here I find myself even a year, 2 years later, whatever it's been, still getting these random cravings. I hope this video helps you guys out. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to check the pinned comment or the video description to learn more, or follow me into some other videos where I talk a little bit more about managing cravings. I'll see you guys there.